Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT This Morning.
One after another, storms rolled through the same parts of the bluegrass last night, leaving behind lots of damage. We'll show you some of the hardest hit areas.
Investigators say the weather may be to blame for a deadly Scott County crash.
And if you're up now, you're likely to catch a glimpse of this year's second lunar eclipse. Should be visible in just a couple of hours this morning. We'll have those stories and more and breaking news as it happens coming up on WKYT This Morning. Good morning to you and welcome. Hopefully you got some rest in those tough storms we had rolling through. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith for the first track on the weather. To see how things are shaping up there this morning, let's go to Micah Harris.
Yeah, we're looking outside this morning. It is much calmer than what we saw yesterday. And like Bill just said, it was the same area. Things just weren't moving that much. And one area got hit, one after another. A lot of us were sitting there saying, well, what's the big deal? I mean, far northern zones, yeah, you got hit early on, but far northern zones and far southern zones, we were sitting there just watching everybody else there in the mid portion of our viewing area deal with those thunderstorms. Right now, it's very calm, very quiet. Those storms have moved southbound and gotten on out of the way. Temperatures are in the 50s and 60s. It's a cool start to the day for some locations. We're there at 69 degrees. Very nice by this afternoon. It looks really, really good. Taking off the next few days, it doesn't look good. I mean, you better enjoy today, and I'll show you why coming up in your 7-day forecast in about 10 minutes.
Okay, let's go take a look at some of the damage. New on WKYT News this morning. Police are investigating after a man told police that he was shot while walking down the street.
This happened about 11:30 last night. The victim told police he was walking down Ohio Street when he was shot in the calf. He was taken to UK Hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Police say they are possibly looking for 2 men and a female. No arrests have been made.
This morning, we continue to receive reports of damage from the powerful storms that Micah was telling us about that swept through the bluegrass. Bourbon County appears to be one of the hardest hit areas.
Take a look here at this eyewitness video from Paris. It shows a possible tornado. You see there, strong winds knocked down trees and damaged homes in Bourbon County. A storm also started a gas leak, but no major injuries were reported. WKYT's Garrett Weimer joins us with a look at the damage there.
We wait the report.
It knocked down trees and knocked out power. This from only the first round of storms to hit the area.
And I gotta admit, the skies did look very gloomy as I was coming down the road here, but I can't say that I actually seen a tornado, but the skies were very, very scary.
Yet as neighbors tried to clean up the damage, they were forced to dodge more storms.
It started hailing real bad. It looked like snow, actually. It was hailing so bad that little pea-sized hail.
The storms blew this tree over, blocking the train tracks, and the lights marking the railroad crossing were also blown over. Neighbors describing the storm saying it sounded like a freight train going by their house. Police say it damaged extensively homes on Vine Street, prompting an evacuation after crews found a possible gas leak. As the sun set on what became a dark night in Paris.
Hope and pray that everybody has a good place to stay tonight and everything will turn out all right for everybody.
In Bourbon County, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
Well, folks in neighboring Scott County also have a lot of cleanup to do this morning. Much of the damage is around stamping ground. On Stonetown Road, strong winds blew down a barn and also damaged some homes. One man whose home was damaged tells us he got into his storm shelter just in time.
I saw some furniture tumbling. Thought it was just some strong wind, but then I saw my gas grill start turning, so I realized it was a little more than just strong wind, so I went to the shelter room.
Well, he tells us friends and family quickly came to his home to help him begin making repairs. Scott County Emergency Management says a mobile home was destroyed by winds on Long Lick Road. So far, no injuries have been reported in Scott County.
Powerful storms also knocked down trees and damaged some buildings in Harrison County Tuesday evening. You're looking at eyewitness video showing a possible tornado near Cynthiana. Paul shared this video with us. WKYT's Jerica Insko talked to some people in Scott County who had a big mess to clean up after the storms.
It didn't take us long to find damage from the storms here in Harrison County, and it seems to us that most of the damage is concentrated here along US 27 and 62.
I don't think you can ever be prepared because you just never know.
It was about the time some were getting off work
I couldn't hardly see the road.
that the storms hit and left behind, well, this.
We just have some damage to the roof. Some shingles are off. A lot of trees, a lot of our mature trees are gone now.
And this and that.
Brad repaired trees all over. I couldn't even get up the driveway.
The damage is worse for some than others.
The garage windows are blown out, but there's no damage to the inside, and we're fortunate the trees didn't land on the house, so we're lucky in that way.
Thousands without power in and around Cynthiana, and even more storms pushed through while they were in the dark.
Don't have any electricity, but all good. Blessings to count.
Because all in all, there's a lot to be thankful for.
When you look around, the families were safe. They weren't home for the most part, and the damage is around the homes. So we're very lucky.
Nothing about nobody being hurt or no homes damaged yet. So.
The next couple of weeks will be pretty busy for people left with a yard like this.
We have fall break next week. We're both educators, so that'll give us some extra time to get things cleaned up.
People have reported seeing funnel clouds here in Harrison County, but a tornado has not yet been confirmed. In Harrison County, Jerica Insco, WKYT.
Well, many of you have been sharing your eyewitness pictures of yesterday's storms. Take a look at this picture from Ann in Georgetown. That shows some golf ball-sized hail. Look at that. More of the same in Montgomery County, where Lauren sent us a picture also of some golf-sized hail. We appreciate all the pictures that our viewers have sent us. If you'd like to share, just look for the Eyewitness tab on WKYT.com. You can also post to Facebook or Twitter. Well, with the threat of more severe weather later this week, you can track those storms even when you happen to be away from the TV. Take control of an interactive First Alert Defender radar on WKYT.com. Zoom into your neighborhood. You can also download the WKYT app for your iPad or smartphone. It'll connect you with several weather tools, including live radar.
It's 4:37 now on WKYT, and this morning investigators think the weather may be to blame for a crash that killed 3 people in Scott County. Police say the crash involved 2 cars on Stamping Ground Road between Stamping Ground and Georgetown. The coroner says 22-year-old Trevor Spencer of Georgetown and his 3-year-old son Skylar were killed in one car, and he says 29-year-old Corey Wilcoxon of Georgetown was killed in the other car. Police say 3 other people were also injured in the crash. Their conditions are not known to us at this time.
Well, this morning, police need your help finding a missing Central Kentucky teenager. 15-year-old Sierra Reinhardt hasn't been seen since last week. Family members say she walked away from a gas station at exit 95 in Madison County and then just disappeared. Police say at this point they do not know what happened to her. Family members say that night they had stopped to say goodbye to Sierra's father, who was leaving to work out of state.
She was sad at the time. She wanted her dad to stay an extra night. She gave him a kiss on the cheek and a hug. She told him she loved him, told him bye. She walked around the front of the truck. I had no idea she was walking away.
Sierra's mother asks anyone who sees the teenager to give her food and shelter until she can be reunited with her family. She says she will reimburse them for all costs. Well, the Pentagon says that some of the U.S. military personnel being sent to Liberia to help with the Ebola crisis may come into contact with the virus.
The head of the U.S. Africa Command says the majority of troops involved in the mission would not be exposed to the disease, but those in mobile testing labs could come in contact with it. He also emphasized that they are all trained at a very high level. The Pentagon has sent 3 of these mobile labs to Liberia and expects to send more in the coming months. In California, a pilot has died while fighting a growing fire in Yosemite National Park. Officials say they were tackling the Dog Rock fire when their air tanker crashed near the park. The pilot's identity has not been released yet. So far, the fire has scorched more than 100 acres and forced an evacuation of the park on Tuesday afternoon. Fire officials say the crash just emphasizes how dangerous wildland firefighting can be. And if you missed seeing the total eclipse that went on back in April, well, you are about to get a second chance this morning. The second lunar eclipse of the year should be visible in just a couple of hours.
At about 6:25 this morning, a total lunar eclipse is expected to turn the moon red. Very cool, but it will only last about an hour. A lunar eclipse happens when the moon passes through the Earth's shadow. There will be 2 full lunar eclipses again next year. If you can't see the total eclipse from your own backyard, you can watch it live online at space.com. So it sounds like this isn't one that you need the glasses for, I guess.
Not in the case of lunar. It's
Okay.
not that bright.
Okay.
It's the sun, I think.
All right.
That's the difference?
I'm glad
Okay.
you're schooling me on that.
I think that's right.